and welcome back to Guitar With. I'm Zoe-Beth and today we're going to be going through the different types of business models that you can do for teaching guitar. So much fun, I know. So there are three main ways that you can go about teaching guitar. One is the private route, two is the peripatetic route, I'll tell you more about that later, or three, you can join a pre-existing academy. Each one of these approaches has pros and cons, and it really depends on you as a person and what your wants, needs and desires are from teaching guitar. Let's dive into each one of these three models, starting with private teaching. The pros are you get to be your own boss, you get to decide your own schedule, decide which clients you want to work with and which ones you don't. You get total freedom and control of what and how you want to be running things. Now, part of this decision making also comes down to where you want to be teaching, whether you're teaching out of your own home, out of a hired studio space, or you're visiting clients at their own homes or chosen location. And for each one of these, you need to make sure you're factoring in time and expenses on that as well. So for example, if you are hiring a studio space, obviously that comes with a cost and you need to make sure you factor that into your pricing when delivering to your student as well. The same thing goes for visiting clients' homes, including parking, if you're driving or if you're getting a train or public transport, make sure those fees are covered as well. So these are all things that you will need to think about if you choose to teach privately. Now, the other benefit of being a private teacher is you get to choose your own demographic. What it basically means is the type of student that you want. So for example, I'm really good at teaching beginners and I'm particularly good at teaching girls. So I've really niched down on that part of it. So that is my ideal client base. I do still occasionally can take people outside of that demographic, but 9 times out of 10, I stick within that because that's what I'm good at. Now, the second route for teaching guitar is to be what's called a peripatetic teacher. Now, it's a really big fancy word and I don't really know why it's called that, but it basically means that you're teaching through a school. And this is what I do. So I work with a local school and I go in during school hours and students come to me out of their lessons and come have a guitar lesson with me instead. Now, again, pros and cons. The pros for this means I don't have to do any marketing and the school gets my clients for me. And as part of that, it also means that the trust with parents is already there because the school trusts me, therefore the parents trust the school. Now, teaching through a school also means you get the benefit of 13 weeks off every school year, particularly if you're living in the UK. You get all your school holidays, your October half term, Christmas and New Year, the summer holidays, Easter, all of those things. But the con of that also means that you're bound to teach during school times. So for me, this means 8:30 till 3:30, which is quite a long day. But if you like a fast-paced environment where you're kind of changing clients every half an hour or so, then it's a really good option. Now, similarly to private teaching, you do still get control over if you want to fire a student because they're irritating, which means that you can have more control over the enjoyment of your work. Now, the other benefit of being a peripatetic teacher, peri for short, is you don't have to hire the room. 9 times out of 10, this will be the case across schools. So I don't have to pay for the room that I'm in, and the school don't pay me either. It's actually the parents that pay me. So it's a hybrid of being kind of employed and self-employed because you're guaranteed like students essentially. You don't have to do any of the marketing side of it, but you do still have to maintain client relations and you still have control over the curriculum that you teach. Now, the third option for teaching guitar is to go through an academy. Essentially, this means that you are employed by another business. They get all of your clients for you, but you have no control over who your clients are. Now, the benefits that come with being employed through an academy is you have job security, regular income, you don't have to worry about any of the marketing, any of the client acquisition, any retention, anything like that, dealing with problems. Like, you don't have to do it. You just get to show up and teach. I'll let you in on the secret. There is a secret fourth option for teaching as well, and that actually is a combination of all of these things, particularly peripatetic teaching and private teaching. So for example, your week could look like 1 or 2 days a week you end up teaching in a school, and the tail end of the week, because you're gigging or you're working another job or whatever it is that you're doing, you can work outside of those hours and teach privately as well. Now that we've gone through all of those options, the thing that's kind of cropped up between all of them is this whole getting students yourself versus other people getting students for you. And that's the big difference between whether you're a peri teacher or whether you're in an academy versus being a private teacher. Now, if that's something that you're worrying about, don't worry, we've got you. There's a link in the description below that will get you a free Get Your First Student in 7 Days mini course for you. So do check that out, because it will give you all of the useful things that you need to be able to market yourself effectively and get your first bunch of students. Now, ultimately, the decision of which route you go down, whether it's, private, peripatetic, or academy, or a combination of, comes down to you, your wants, your needs, your desires, all of those things, and what sort of work-life balance you are after. Now, I'd always recommend making a list, pros and cons, I love them, and figuring out which route is the best for you. Cool, that's a wrap on this one. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye!